Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Painless Universal, a conversation with myself and Welsh. Today, I will be talking about burn pain. Just imagine being in an accident at a tender age. It doesn't matter what age you might be, and getting burns and getting disfigured for the rest of your life. This happened to my guest. My guest, Sylvia Mack, will be telling us her own story and journey about how this happened to her and how she's used her voice to help others in similar pain. Her name is Sylvia Mack, and she's the founder of Love Disfigured. She's a grandmother, child burn survivor, and a body diversity campaigner. At the tender age of just 2.5, she was severely burnt in boiling water during an accident of playing hide and seek. Many of us know that game, right? We all play it with our friends, our family, our siblings. She spent her life safe body hated, suffering with severe depression, anxiety, and suicidal thoughts. August 2016, she had a turning point. And I think this is one thing I love about Painless Universal, because we have this conversation with people who have had severe pain one way or the other. And what's so inspiring is that turning point. Is them finding, I've reached that turning point and I need to make a change. And she did. Whilst on the beach, she was uncovered wearing a bikini. She decided to raise awareness, helping others accept their scars through campaign. So she's been campaigning for many other victims who have been suffering around the UK, globally, because if anyone wants that internet access to see her work. And her work is truly to campaign about the burn pain. The pain it causes one, not just physical pain, but the emotional pain, the mental health pain, the anxiety, the depression, the not wanting someone to touch you because they might see that scar. Let's meet our guest, Sylvia, as she discusses these critical issues, and let's understand how she went by to find her joy. Meet Sylvia. Well, hello everyone. As I said in my introduction, we've got Sylvia here to talk about the burns pain she suffered as a child. Severe issue. Many people don't talk about it because we decide to just hide in our scars, hide in our anxiety, hide in our depression. But Sylvia here was so brave, she decided to make a choice and make a stand for other victims. Let's listen to her story. Hi Sylvia, thank you so much.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Your story is truly, truly blew me away in the sense that I couldn't believe that you were so confident to come out of it, because I remember when I was very little, I had a very little scar, just mine on my arm, and I would wear shirts. I would just hide it, and it took a lot from me, and it was so little, and it's just like I felt to myself, oh my goodness, my whole body's ruined. Oh my goodness, it's all. And you look back now and you think, what was that all about? Why were you worried about such a little thing? Who cares anyway? But your story, come out and you're helping others to understand. But before we get into all of that, could you just tell us a little bit about yourself? Who was Sylvia?
So basically when I was 2.5 years, I was just playing around with my other sisters and a game of hide and seek where she would count and I would hide. And my mum was actually boiling pots of water at the time, and she put a bowl of boiling water onto the bathroom floor. And she just, warned us not to go into the bathroom at all. And I guess in my head at the time, I thought, great place to hide, because if no one's going to go in there, then, you know, my sister will be looking and looking and she won't ever find me. So I went straight in there and hid behind the door and shut the door, not aware of this bowl of boiling water behind me on the floor. And she literally just eventually come and pushed the door hard, and I went flying back into the water that was in the bowl on the floor. And being just 2.5 years old, I was very small, and so it caused quite a bit of damage, leaving like a huge hole in my back. But not just that, it also put me onto life support, and years of skin grafts, and to be honest, I was actually lucky to survive at a very young age also. But yeah, I just went on to have years kind of like really severe depression, anxieties, low self-esteem, lacked confidence, just everything that affects your mental health would be affecting me, like literally everything. There's a whole list.
I you know, we could definitely go through that list, and it's just, you know, but
Yeah.
what shocks me is the pain. Can you remember the pain you felt when that happened?
Well, I don't remember very much because I was quite young, but I do remember being in the hospital, and I remember one day just kind of like, because the ward was kind of like pre-war, and before it was opened up for like child burns units and stuff like that, they used to take in soldiers from the war that were burned. And so eventually they kind of like opened up the wards, like mixed wards, so you'd have adults and children in the wards. And I remember being amongst a lot of people that had been burned on their faces, and it just seemed really odd that I was the only person with scars on my body, and to be so young. And I remember just one day like waking up and pulling like the cover over my face quickly, because I noticed that there was an adult opposite me, and her face was bandaged. And to me, it was really scary as a young old, and I literally would just keep hiding under the covers. I was so scared. So it was really scary. It was a scary place for me to be, and especially I had to be left alone, without my family, and it was really difficult. But the pain really come in when I started to have skin grafts, and they remove skin off my arms, my legs, my buttocks, everywhere they could find good skin, they would remove it, and they would freeze some of it so that I could come back and keep having more skin grafts and just keep building up the skin that was on my back and other bits of my body. And that went on for years. But that was the painful part, was the mental, you know, having to see what was going on around me and not understanding, and at the same time you know, missing my family, not really liking my body. And then the real pain was when I was having the skin grafts, and they constantly would uncover, and you'd have like sore arms, sore legs, and they'd have to keep just keep rebandaging every day, unbandaging, treating, reband, and it was horrible. I think they used to put iodine or something.
Yes, I
It
remember.
was just awful. It was the worst pain ever, because actually when you get burned, the fire, the boiling water, the acid, whatever it is, when it burns the skin, it kills the nerves instantly. So you don't actually, sometimes you feel the first hit, but then after that you don't feel very much until it goes really deep. But and even though I had third and fourth degree burns, it was quite deep. It just was, the pain just isn't always there from the actual burns, and it's normally from the treatment following up afterwards.
You know, you're so brave. I can't believe, you know, you're just 2.5 when this happened. And sometimes it's a lot easier because you're younger, but at the same time, it's still hard to deal with. Can you remember,
Yeah.
one thing in the UK, it's compulsory to swim. We all have to swim and learn to swim,
Mm,
especially school
yeah.
trips. Can you remember your first time when you actually had to go swimming?
Yeah.
And, because I know you say you were burnt at the back, but at the same
Mm,
time, there's a way the bikinis tend to sit and people could still see
yeah.
it. How was it
Mm.
when you went for your swimming lessons in school?
So I don't do any swimming with the school. We never done school swimming. I don't actually know why, but my dad, I had four elder sisters. I've still got four elder sisters, but and I used to be the person that'd go with my dad and watch my sister swim every literally Monday to Friday. They joined the local club, and I kind of knew that eventually my dad would put me in there and I would start to swim, but I was just very young at the time. And I think I asked him a few times. Then one day he said to me, okay, I've spoke to this lovely lady. She's a really great swimming teacher and she's going to teach you to swim. And luckily for me, she was a great teacher. I still know her today. She works in schools and she still teaches swimming. And it was actually at the place called YWCA, and it was in Tottenham Court Road in London. And they had a basement swimming pool, and my dad took me there. She said, bring her along. And I don't know whether my dad had a discussion with her about my burn scars, and maybe he was a little bit worried of how I'm going to feel amongst other children. But I went along and she taught me to swim, and she was the happiest, nicest. She was one of those teachers that just encourage you that you got this, you can do this. And she always encouraged me to do the best that I could. And then eventually, I think probably around the age of 9, 10, that kind of like that age where you want to start getting into things like, and you're able to say, oh, actually, I would like to do that. So my dad then put me into the club. And I remember like the first time at the club, it was scary, really, really scary, because I don't know if you remember, kind of like back in the day, they used to have swimming costumes that were really low, like
Right.
you
Yeah.
literally, the
You,
whole of your back would be on
yeah.
display.
U
So that
shape.
was yeah, that's right. And that was really difficult for me. And I knew that I had to wear these costumes. My dad, he would buy us loads and loads of costumes, various types and colours, but I knew that those costumes with this kind of like drop back were really scary, and I didn't really want to wear them. So the first time that I wore it, I remember like leaving the changing rooms really late because I didn't want anyone to see me. And then I quickly jumped into the pool. And then I'd wait until everybody had cleared the pool. Like I used to literally hide under the water, and the coach would keep shouting at me to come out. And because I wanted everyone to just go, and up on the side would be, all the spectators, all the adults, the parents, and I'd want them to go as well. I didn't want them to see my scars. So it was a real battle of a little bit of an acting role I had, making sure nobody could see me doing this little act and getting in. Sometimes my coach, oh, I don't feel too well, or I've got cramp and a stitch and I need to get out. So I used to get out early sometimes so that I could quickly shower and no one could see me change. So it was a bit of a battle, and even my mum knew, and she would supply me with a very big towel, especially when we had competitions and had to meet up with other clubs from other areas. It was scary because I knew that people within my club knew that I had scars. There were some people that weren't so nice and would call me names or talk about me behind my back. Luckily, I had my sister to support me with that. She was being a little bit older. But when we went to competitions, it was really, really scary. And I had some really terrifying moments where I was in the pool and, I was asked to get out of the pool and I wouldn't get out. And then I literally have all these referees whistling at me and calling over intercoms, get that girl out of the pool. And I remember my sister just coming along and going, okay, I've got the towel, you're okay now. And she used to like really always be there at the end of a swim support me. But you know, when it come to actually racing and swimming and galas and stuff like that, I didn't want to win. I didn't want to place. I just didn't want it to be seen. I didn't want anyone to look at me, and so it was easier to just lose all the time. Even my dad could never understand it because he always used to say to me, "You're doing great times. What's going on?" And it was just a confidence thing. Once your confidence goes,
It's,
you know, it's really hard to get that
I
like
must
that.
I must ask, what about dating? I mean,
Oh.
and gosh, because I know I have a chronic illness, and then mine was more like telling them, "Oh, do I have this illness or not? What shall I say?" But yours is a scar. How did you deal with the dating side of things?
Yeah, I mean, again, it was all this kind of like a little bit of an acting role that I had through life. That's how it felt. It kind of felt like I was inside this box and I'm looking around me all the time thinking, this is what I need to do. And I'm always like working out my route and what I need to do and what I'm going to say and how I'm going to move through my way through life. And it was constantly a battle, really. And like my very first time that I met a boy that really liked me happened to me my cousin's sorry, my cousin, not my cousin, my friend's cousin. And he really liked me a lot. And then one day he just said to me, "Oh, I love you," and he wanted to kiss me. And the minute he put his arms on me, I darted and I ran all the way home, and he never seen me for weeks. Yeah, yeah, it was difficult. It really difficult with boys, and then there was times where I'd have to, if say it was a bit of a longer relationship, I would need to say, "Look, I've got scars." You know, I'd need to explain early on, and or if I thought it was going to go somewhere, it was just a matter of me talking about it, which was sad, really, that I had to do that. You know, it's like saying I've got a bit of baggage here, and you know, are you okay with it? You know, otherwise they could just get up and leave.
Absolutely. No, you know, I'm so glad you went through that, because if you didn't go through all this, then other people who are coming up now who are dealing with other kind of issue. It might be acid pain, it might
Yeah.
be hot water burns, anything. They could
Mm,
the story, and you're sharing such a wonderful story. But key thing on that, in anything in life, there always a turning point when you realize enough is enough. I'm tired of hiding in
yeah.
my own skin. When did your turning point come to you? When you realized enough?
Yeah, so I think it was probably the beginning of 2016, and I remember I was really struggling. Things were getting really bad. They were going downhill really fast, and um, things were happening to me where I thought I was being followed, I was being watched, and you know, it was really affecting my old mental health. And um, you know, I now had a grandchild, and I didn't want my son to see me, especially my son, because he was at that age, you know, teenager. That I didn't want him to see me sad and upset all the time. You know, every time I cry, everyone would be like, "What's wrong, mum? Are you okay?" And you know, I'd make up the excuses that I've got a cold and all of those things. It was very difficult. And then I remember reaching out to a friend who had just lost her job, and she suddenly got a really great job. And she said to me, "Oh, you know, I've read this book called The Secret," and I was like, "Oh, right, okay, that's interesting." So she said, "I'm going to send you some information on it." And she did, and I read it, and I thought, "Oh, well, this is seems quite easy," you know. And there was a few different things that I thought, okay, well, I can try this, I can try this, why not, you know, because I'd lived my life with a real negative mindset, and I don't ever remember being positive about anything.
Yeah.
So I was, you know, I've just struggled so badly, and for me to just suddenly change it was difficult. So so kind of like as the months went on, I remember my mum said to me, "Oh, do you want to come on holiday with me? And I was like, yeah, okay. And by this time, it was around August 2016. And so we went on a holiday together, took my son with us. She knew that I needed a holiday. She could see that I was really struggling. And while I was on holiday, used to make sure that when we went down to the swimming pool, that I'd go to sort of like the outer side so that no one can see my scars when I sit down on the lounger. Or we'd go to the beach and we'd always sit far away from everyone. And this particular day, we couldn't find anywhere to sit. And I was sat in front of a man who I believed to be filming me. However, he may not have been filming me, but I'm hoping that my thinking that he was actually was what caused my mindset to change that day, because I got really angry about it. And I noticed one thing that I didn't want to do was upset my mum, because she'd lost my father a few years prior to this holiday, and I wanted to make sure this holiday was good for her, and she wanted to make sure it was good for me. And I felt like I was really, upsetting her a lot, complaining a lot about anything. I was just negative about anything and everything. And this particular day, I began complaining about this guy filming me. And she said to me, no, he's not filming you, and I'm like, yes, he is. So she said, right, let's go down to the beach. So we went down to the beach, and I had a cover up over a bikini, and I'm but if I've got a cover up on, that's fine. And this particular day, I had this bikini on that my sister had given me, and I said, look, I'm not going to wear it, but I did wear that day. And I decided, all right, we go to the beach, I'll go upstairs, I'll put the bikini on, and I did. And we got to the beach, and my mum just began to ask me about my scars. Do they hurt? Can I touch them? And I mean, you can imagine, me and my mother, it's been years since she'd seen my scars or touched them. And because she was always holding my hand, she was always supportive of me. My family was so supportive, always supportive of me, my mum and dad and my sisters. And she was always by my side the whole time. So I knew that she now wanted to make sure that I was okay. And so at that time I thought, oh, yeah, okay, Mum, I'm fine. And then I said to her, look, would you like to walk to the water's edge, and we'll just, put our feet in the water, because she had knee trouble and hip trouble and everything. So, and she said, no, it's fine, I'll stay here. So I said, okay. So I began to walk down, and I did not know at that time that my turning point was going to come. And as I walked down, I kind of walked out halfway. Something told me to turn back. And as I turned back, I could see my mum kind of sat with her head really like hung low. Whether she was crying, I don't know, but it really hurt me. And at that moment I thought, God, you're so selfish, Sylvia. Look at your mother. Look, she's done so much for you. It was just suddenly, I felt like throughout my life I had a badge, like almost like a devil on this shoulder and an angel on that shoulder, and they're always bickering in my ear saying, do this, do that. Yeah. And then suddenly the angels come through and said, right, this is what you've got to do. And so at that moment I thought, this is it, I'm going to go for it, I know what I need to do. And I just walked out right to the water's edge. I turned around, and at that moment I just felt like everybody was watching me. And I can still see it to today. And as I turned around, I pulled off this cover up, and I just put my arms up and went, Mum, look at me. And I was like, hey. And she was smiling and waving to me. She just looked so happy, because she was just, she's probably so taken aback, because she's never seen me so happy, showing my scars in my bikini. And everyone was watching me, and I thought, okay, well, I'm just going to do a nice little runway walk all the way back to my mum, my hands on my hip, and I went back all the way back to her. Yeah, and I went up to her, and I went to her, Mum, we're going to have a great holiday now. Everything's fine. I promise I'm not going to complain no more. We're all good now. We're fine. And she went, I know. And that was it. We had a great holiday after that. It was, and my life just changed.
Wow, that is truly amazing. I'm glad you
Yeah.
got that turning point, that you just realized that enough is enough. You know, I
Yeah.
can't live my life for other people. I mean, it's not like they're my friends. Sometimes you're never even going to see them again. You're never going to know who
I
they are. So
know.
why are we living a life? But you went on to go and you started the Love Disfigured. You did this Love Disfigured campaign.
Yes.
Now, why did you want to help other women who were going through similar things like you were?
Yeah, because I think I kind of always had that in me, and I remember like times in my life I did try certain things. Like I tried to, well, I did. I went to university and I thought I'm going to start a business, but that didn't work out. And you know, I always tried things. I worked in special needs school, one-to-one special needs, and I taught children to swim. I always worked with children. That was my calling, like to work amongst children. I love being around children, especially special needs children. I used to spend my whole summer holidays and take my two girls at the time out with the children. And even though they used to complain loads, I used to be like, it's fine, we're going to the beach with the children, it's fine. And so it was really nice, but they learned to be really, you know, inclusive of everyone as they got older. So it was a great kind of like learning curve for them too. But yeah, it was just something where I felt like I was always trying new things and nothing seemed to work for me. Um, it was just it was just difficult, and I really wanted to do something great, you know. And even times like I remember like when I was younger, I wanted to go out to Africa when there was famine in Africa. I wanted to always do, you know, like aid stuff, like and helping people. So I knew that I had that in me. I was very family orientated, and it was in me. It's always been in me, and to help others. So that was the reason why I wanted to do that. I thought, this is it. This is it. This is what
How
you,
did the
this
women?
is your calling.
How did the women take it when you told them, "Oh, God, ladies, we're going to do this campaign, and I want you to present your scarf, present yourself"? How did they take it?
So what happened was I put a video online, and it was me basically crying, telling everyone I want you all to be like me, embrace your scars, and you know, stop hiding. You know that I've done this for years. It's not good for your mental health. Please listen to me. And I cried and sobbed, and then suddenly I had worldwide messages saying, oh my goodness, you've helped me so much. Thank you. You're inspirational. I've never been told I'm inspirational in my life. And to hear those things was just to hear. And then what I did, I set up a little Facebook group and began looking for people that had any types of marks or scars. They could have cleft lip, they could have psoriasis, acne, just all sorts of not so much disabilities, but mainly like skin differences. And there were so many people that could just come in and said, yes, I'd like to be part of your campaign. And I was like, it's a bikini, well, swimwear campaign, are you happy with that? They're like, yes, sure, we want to do it because you're doing it. And that was it. And the great thing about it was, what I hadn't realized at the time was, not only was I helping burn survivors, I was helping everyone that had some kind of a mark or scar on their body, or felt that they wasn't being accepted in society, or didn't feel included in society, when whatever it is they wanted to do. And so it was suddenly like, what, me model for a swimwear campaign? This is brilliant. And then when they all finally come together, and I did all of this myself. Now you must remember, like, I've literally only worked with children in school, and I just suddenly created a big campaign, and I ran around doing everything. Like, I do from anyone. I was like, photographer for free, great, yes, book you. Right, makeup, could you do it for free? Great, yes, I'll have you. A haul for free, great. A swimwear brands come in and gave us swimwear, and it done really well. It went quite viral actually, the campaign. But the wonderful thing about it was towards the end, everyone was exchanging numbers, and I thought, this is a great network. Like, people are really,
Yeah.
this is what they need. Because if I'd known that there was someone out there that would befriend me who had scars or had a skin condition, someone who felt exactly how I was feeling,
Yeah.
then I'm sure my life would have changed earlier on.
Absolutely, absolutely. We never realize how much a difference people who are similar position like yourself, when you see them and they're telling you it's okay, I'm here to
Yeah.
hold your hands and it's not bad then. That makes such a difference. I'm so glad you did that because you have done marvelous work, and people I watched your video and our campaign and I saw,
Oh,
wow, this is so good. That's, you are a voice to so many people who are uncertain, feeling so bad that they will never get their life together. And I always say to people, the body we're in now is not our body forever. It's not us. It's
yeah,
just a time frame. So just, yeah, even if it happened to you early,
yeah,
it's part of life, and we are never going to keep this whole body for the rest of our life.
yeah,
You've won awards. I saw you won the Women of the Year and Boots Wellness Warrior Award. What
yeah.
what good has come from this?
So Boots are supporting me at the moment, and we're going to be collaborating on something wonderful soon. But they're also like mentoring me and helping me set up a YouTube channel, and I think that will be really good for me, especially um, so that I can share more stories, because I share stories currently on Instagram, and mainly on Instagram because I like the
Wow.
photo content that I put out, and I like to share other people's stories, inspirational stories especially. But I think the YouTube channel will be so much better because it will just be, more. Hopefully, I'll be able to get a bit more exposure. More people will be able to listen and help them to embrace their bodies too. Because it's actually amazing how quickly someone can, just by looking at another individual that might have scars, that might have a skin condition, that's saying, "Hey, I don't care what anyone thinks. This is me." And it just takes that sometimes for someone to say, "Wow, yeah, you're so right. Why am I not like that?" And funny enough, sometimes I think of the extent of my scars. Um, Sometimes there are people that have just very small scarring that they've covered for a very long time in their life, and they just say, "You're so wonderful, thank you, you've helped me." And I say to them, it doesn't matter, how big or small your scar or your mark is on your body. It doesn't matter, it's how you feel. And if you're not happy with your body, you need to start from within and really try to learn and change that mindset, because it's the mindset. The mind is such a great tool, isn't it?
It's
It
so
really
powerful. It's really powerful. It makes or destroy you. You decide. You literally. It's up to you to decide today. I do want
is.
to have a good day, or do I want to have a bad day. And the mind is decide. And our final question is message of hope. What would be your message to anybody out there? A mother, for example, who's recently had her child scarred, or some mothers just give birth and they see the child is being disfigured and they're so worried about it, or a teenager out there who's really worried about any kind of scarring, especially burn scar, what will be your message of hope to them?
Yeah, I'd say to them, you know, don't worry too much about what they think of you, because you will get a little bit of animosity from other people, and sometimes you might get a little bit of bullying, whether it's online or in person. But there are organisations and charities out there that can help you too, and there are also wonderful people online that might have whatever it is you have, whether it's scars, skin condition, that are empowering other women, that are embracing their bodies, and they will help you just from what they do online. They will be able to help you and empower you. So what I would say is just try not to think about what others think of you. You know, just remember that your mindset is the tool, and it will be the one that helps you, gets you through.
Absolutely. Well, Sylvia, thank you so much.
Thank you,
If
Anne.
anyone has any question, I'm sure they should check out your page, and I think that would give them immediate confidence, because I mean, you have done them. You're just there telling the story, and you're just being real with it. So I really applaud you for every off with your work, and keep shining, keep making us feel happy that it doesn't matter what we're going through. It could be a chronic illness, it could be a mental pain, whatever. What's important is just try and find your turning point and believe in yourself. Thank you so
Yes, that's
much
it.
for your kind
Oh,
words.
thank you so much. Thank you.